Fructose actors.
Established VO pros.
And curious fans alike get to meet and learn.
From the mega successful talent in voiceover, hear their personal stories. Find out how they became so successful.
Learn their secrets and join them at the top.
Come on and get buzzed with us. We know that you have a dream. Go be all you wanna be. So come on and get buzzed with us.
And now, prepare to get seriously buzzed with your hosts, Chuck Duran and Stacey J. Aswad.
We are back with a new VO Buzz Weekly episode. It's part 2 with Ivy Isenberg. She is awesome.
She is beyond awesome.
And, now you get a whole other new episode with great information. So let's just do it. Want to?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Here we go.
Okay, another question for you. So you got 3 people, okay, all equally great for the job. Who gets it?
Why are they all equally great for the job? How did we determine that?
Because they fit the role as far as, now I'm talking voiceover here, so not visuals, so just voice. They fit the role, they get it right, they're talented, they're funny, they got the timing, everything is perfect.
They're like
all
your final 3 contenders.
Who gets the job?
Cheapest!
The cheapest? No, they all, the same price. Who gets the job? It's
Whoever
not
the
a trick
producers
question.
want. I mean, I'm a liaison. I'm
So
an
the producer
intermediary.
really is the one that says, okay, let's go with that.
I mean, I push them in the direction that I want, but sometimes it's just up to them. It's really, look, everyone has their baby.
Yeah.
Right? And writers and directors will, they create their child. Their TV show, their film is their baby. And they always, there isn't anyone that's like, sure, I'm open to whatever, right? In their minds, they always have some preconceived notion of what it would sound like.
Exactly.
And they go, this is how I pictured it when I was writing this, in my basement in Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
So they gravitate towards the person that really completes that vision for them.
Right.
But I mean, there are a lot of talented people. I don't think every audition will be exactly equal. I think people might be equally talented, but not every audition will be equal. So in a sense, you might have one that hits certain comedic beats, but not others. Another one that hits different comedic beats, but then doesn't quite have the vocal tone that you were looking for.
Right.
Or the accent or something else. Another one maybe is super, super perfect, but in terms of your budget, they have to do 3 roles an episode.
Yeah.
Right.
And they have no range, and they can't do other roles or other accents or other things.
Exactly.
They're only just perfect for that one thing.
Yeah.
But that means then you have to spend $933 extra per episode
for another person.
For another person.
Yeah.
Right.
And
So
what about
art and commerce, dude?
Is there ever a backup for the person?
Yeah, there's always a backup.
Okay.
Because you can't put all your eggs in that basket. Because, like I said, it's art meets commerce. And if that person gets sick, if they're not available, if something better comes along for them and they have a film that all of a sudden is going to pay them, $500,000 instead of an animated project that's going to pay them $4,000, and they're like, sorry, dudes, off to South Africa for 6 months.
Exactly.
Can't wait, don't wait up for me.
Now, does the backup know that they're the backup?
No,
Or do you
that's
keep
not
that
fair.
secret? Of
Why
course.
would you
I
ever
know
tell
it's
anybody
not.
that?
I would never do that. I'm just saying, maybe you do. But maybe you don't.
that's incredibly rude.
I know.
Like whoever the person I marry, I hope they don't remind me that
You were the runner-up.
Like,
The runner-up.
God, I really wanted to marry Tiffany Thiessen or something, but she was taken, or
She's too busy cooking.
right,
Yeah.
or something like that. But you were
I know people
a
that would be
reasonable
honored
second.
to be a backup.
Yes.
I don't actually work on it, but I'm the backup.
Well, okay, so let's make it relevant to like people out there in the voiceover world.
Yes.
Sometimes we do scratch tracks.
Aha.
And sometimes it's to work out kinks in the script, timing, technical stuff, etc. And they're there to help voice the role as a temporary solution.
For that, the real actor. For the
Not the real-
actor, but
I
for
mean,
the actor
not-
that has the job.
No, but they don't necessarily have the job. You just haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, okay. So this is
And so-
temp.
Yeah, so it's like they're doing a scratch record as temp, right? And they may have it, they may not. They may get replaced with Brad Pitt down the line in the final version, right? But I don't know why I'm all up on Brad Pitt.
Yeah, what's up with Brad Pitt?
Oh my gosh,
Ivy?
I'm so in love with like Amy Schumer. So speaking of Brad,
She
has
is
that
so funny.
She has that thing that she does where she screams out Bradley Cooper's name every time she sees Bradley. So I'm like I am all about Amy Schumer. Love
And Brad Pitt.
she's fabulous.
But yeah,
man.
I guess I just picked
So
Brad.
well, that's okay. He's pickable.
He's totally pickable.
Do you sometimes pick him? No.
I always
so
pick
then
him.
sometimes someone who
Pitt or
does
Cooper?
What?
Brad Pitt or Cooper?
No, Pitt.
Oh, man, okay.
So if someone does scratch, are they sometimes considered?
Yeah,
for?
they're always considered, but sometimes, like if you're doing it for a studio, they might have something else in mind, right? They might have a celebrity name, an A-list that's going to bring more revenue. And so, in fact, sometimes you get big celebrities and the performance is not as good.
Right.
But
Yeah.
they have to put some fancy schmancy name on the poster to sell tickets.
Right. Yes.
So life's not always fair. And sometimes I wish it could just be all of the cool voiceover people that I know and love to hire over and over. I mean, I heard J.B. Blanc once for a sketch in TripTank, my show on Comedy Central, and he did every single role in that sketch. There were like 10 roles, and he did every single role. It was a bunch of British dudes, kind of Monty Python-ish, and he did every single person in different accents in the entire sketch. I hired him for everything.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love him.
Genius.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's a
And-
cool guy.
Yeah,
Very good.
it was amazing.
So cool.
You know, if I had hired a celebrity, I wouldn't. You
wouldn't have gotten that. Probably.
I wouldn't have gotten 10 different sounding voices out of them.
Yeah. So you did the original casting for the High Fructose Adventures of Annoying Orange. Yeah.
Yeah. So when it was a web series, Dane just hired his friends, and then when it was on Cartoon Network, then I did the casting for that, and then it got canceled and went back to web.
Right.
So the TV stuff's all mine. The web stuff are like him and his friends and stuff like
Is that like a? I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were going to ask
I
something
think I know
about
what you're
that.
going to say. So
voiceover people and filming their mouths.
Yeah. No. I've seen the Annoying Orange
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. No, it's funny because when we started the show, it was in 2012, and that had I remember talking about it very, very
Hey,
early
Apple.
on.
Hey, Apple.
Yeah.
About it, that it was, was
So
the
annoying.
largest YouTube channel at that time. It was
Yes.
like,
Had like 1 billion hits.
yeah. So
was
how
crazy.
often do you look at YouTube and social media as a source of, and how much do you
That's
consider
such the
that?
trend right now. That
How
is
much do you
such the
consider
trend.
social influence in your casting process?
If I can sprinkle, honestly, I have answered this question in different ways with every single producer I've worked
Give us
with.
an original answer for VO Buzz Weekly,
Give us the
please.
VO Buzz Weekly answer.
Well,
Exclusive answer for VO Buzz.
but the real true answer is that talent comes from a lot of different sources. And so to take it back to what we were talking about earlier, I go the extra mile to find people everywhere that are talented.
Yeah.
And performing is an art. Okay? It's an art, it's a craft, it's a skill set. I don't think someone who has a YouTube channel that shows you how to apply makeup is necessarily a talented actress.
Well, yeah, absolutely
Sure.
not.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you say that, but
Yeah,
I have
but
to
it
have this argument
happens.
with some of my
But it
clients
happens,
sometimes,
exactly.
right?
And they have.
Oh, well, because they
and
have-
they have 500,000
Because-
Twitter followers.
Right.
And they're-
Or like 5 million, right? And so that's 5 million people where the assumption is they're going to follow them from one format to another.
Right.
But the thing is you like certain people for certain things, right? It's like,
They don't always commingle.
right, like I mean, we didn't really like seeing Magic Johnson be a talk show host, did we? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
you're right.
like play basketball, right? I mean, that's such an old reference, but I can't think of any other
It's a good
basketball.
one.
Well, it's a good one because I
Yeah.
can't think of any other basketball stars that were as revered
Yeah.
as Magic Johnson.
Right.
Then trying to transition into a whole nother medium he was completely uncomfortable with.
Right, or you see the reality personalities that then
Right.
they become an award show host. Oh, they are? Like sometimes
Right.
it's not always.
Right.
Yeah.
So if there are a lot of YouTube people that started off in comedy, UCB, Groundlings,
Right.
and they took their comedy to the web. Right? That's
Right.
not the same thing as like, look at my new shoes.
Yeah.
Let
You
me tell you
bedazzled
all
them
about my
yourself.
shoes, right? And
Yeah.
now I'm going to play a monkey in a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, not going to happen, right? And
You
those people
know.
won't care about that. Exactly.
And they won't follow that person to that new medium because they still need to be good at it.
Yeah.
So in terms of YouTube people, the people that are actors and performers, I'm not going to be prejudiced against them because their venue was YouTube.
Right.
I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Now I forgot what I was going to ask you.
Oh, really? Because you were like,
well, so-
let me ask you, and you were so serious about it.
Okay, I was serious about it. So here it is, okay?
Okay.
And let's be truthful.
Oh, God.
because you
Really?
come-
Now?
Now.
Why now?
Let's tell the truth now
All right.
here.
Jesus.
So
Yeah, we're gonna start
there's
shooting any minute
There's a
now.
ton of people out there,
Okay.
who maybe they have a nice voice and maybe they're not an actor, and people
Okay.
tell them all the time, hey,
Yeah.
maybe you should get into voice acting. You have such a great voice. I know I get emails like that almost daily.
No, you don't.
I swear I do, and I know that you do too. So what I want
just
you to
busting your chops.
I know you are, because you like to do that. So what advice?
Okay.
Real advice would you give those people that get told that over and over and over? So rather than just trying to jump in, what should they be doing?
Okay. I'm glad you asked that.
You're very
Thank
welcome,
you.
Ivy.
This is very like Barbara Walters all of a
Yes.
sudden.
Of course.
I just don't want to start crying.
I was going to say, we don't have a tissue yet.
Yeah.
So, what you're asking me is if being in voiceover is in fact someone's dream and they're willing to work for it and do whatever it takes to be a professional, what advice do I have?
Sure.
Or am I giving advice to people that like, seems cool?
Well, clearly,
Both.
yeah,
How about both?
because clearly
Okay.
that's a
How about both?
misconception.
First, the person who's got a passion. They've been told that all their lives, man, you have a great voice as you get into voiceover, and they do have a passion for it. What could they be doing to really give it a good shot?
Okay. So, let me try to organize my thoughts here. There are a lot of different types of voiceover. And so, my first thought would be from my background, working in comedy, working in scripted comedy, and working on TV shows and video games, all of those roles are designed for professional actors. Voiceover is acting, okay? It's for people who are performers, who are trained and educated, who have talent in performing in this particular medium.
Right.
However, for those people that do have cool voices that maybe are not good at playing a character, there's commercial voiceover, right?
Narration.
So narration, commercial voiceover, they're industrials. You don't have to create a character if you're narrating a documentary.
Right.
You just need a very clear, likable, articulate, audible vocal quality. You don't have to create characters, take improv classes.
Right.
I mean, certainly that would help, but if that's not where you want to end up, you don't necessarily have to train in those capacities.
Yeah, you still have to be able to tell the story, though. So
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, how
so-
much of it is a story is when you're like, blah, 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 may cause rectal bleeding,
Well,
right?
did you just say that? Did she just say that?
every
She did.
medication.
Please tell me she didn't
Listen,
just say
those
that.
side effects go on
Oh
for
my
25
God!
seconds.
What kind of a show is this anyway? I
No,
thought it was
because
a
every
family
medication
voiceover
you
show.
ever take, somehow that's the
I
one
know.
side effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
it's-
what do we all have really weak anuses?
I know it's crazy.
I know. I like the
we
constipation
laugh
drugs that cause
constantly.
diarrhea, and I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
well,
or death. or death. You're like, that's cool. I'll just keep my poop.
Like, I'll just be constipated. Totally.
So hold on, I'm bringing this back. I'm bringing this back home.
Okay.
So what
So
about
for that guy there's radio. Okay,
Yeah.
radio announcing. There's commercial voiceover. There are so many awesome classes out there, and learning exactly what you want to
the
do.
skill set that
Yeah,
requires.
Yeah.
absolutely. So I mean, my go-to answer is really take classes, learn the craft, learn the field, and then learn the commerce aspect of it, which is how to market yourself, how to put together a demo reel, take a class, go to an institution that does demo reels, and record copy, and then pick what sounds the best, put together a reel. Have it in a link form so that people can access it. Send the link to talent agents. Again, if they're looking for something so specific and they don't have that person that speaks Portuguese that has, that sounds like they have a deep, resonance to them, right? Maybe they're
Right.
African American and have like a deep timbre, but then they speak Portuguese and you want that tone and they're like,
Right.
well, holy guacamole, we don't have anyone on our roster like that. And you're like, oh my God, that's me. Like, I have value in this capacity. Maybe, then all of a sudden Innovative or CESD or Atlas or William Morris or whoever it is, like, great. We needed that guy. They're doing a video game. It's all Mandarin Chinese, and this guy can speak Mandarin Chinese,
Yep. So let's set the record straight here.
I don't have rectal
You're
bleeding.
only going to hear this here, ladies and gentlemen. No, stop it. We're going to set the record
Our
straight
chair
here.
thanks
Comedy
you.
hour.
Right. These are really pretty.
If you're out
used to
there
be.
and you have a wonderful, wonderful voice and people have told you all of your life, hey, you should get into voiceover, the first thing that you need to do is learn the craft. Because it's not get rich quick.
No.
Right.
You're not going to hire somebody like that. I'm
No.
not going to do a demo for somebody like that. And an agent is not going to sign somebody who doesn't have
A demo.
or know the craft.
Right.
Because
Of
you could
course.
make a crappy demo.
Yes.
That's true.
Right? So work on your craft.
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay, now
Yeah.
let's talk about side
Yeah.
effects.
So there are.
No, but it's like, don't you find that entertainment always attracts people who, I don't think there's like a med school where it's like, I just want to wear the coat. I just want the stethoscope.
Yeah,
Right.
no.
This is a
Right.
field that attracts so many people that want the glory, the fame. They want to be famous.
amenities,
yeah.
yeah.
Ooh, good word. I love that. They want the amenities of it.
Yeah.
But they don't want to have to work. They don't want to train.
Right.
They just want to be famous.
And they want it
Get
to
rich
happen
quick
in an instant. It's
mentality.
like
reality
taking
television.
Yep,
Perfect.
Bingo.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Right?
it.
Yeah.
Don't try to be an actor. Don't try to do voiceover. Don't try to to be in a video game animated series. Don't try any of that. Just like be on
Exactly.
be on an island and eat like bugs, right?
Hey,
How
bugs.
that'll cause rectal bleeding. How often do you? I mean, obviously, I can voice kids and
Right.
boys, girls. But how often do you actually want kids to play kids? And what
I
are the
just
opportunities
finished a
out there?
project, and that was it was a huge, long discussion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where we hired adults to do all the kids' voiceover, like 9, 10, 11, 12, because they don't need special work permits. They don't need a teacher on set. Their voice never changes, right?
Right.
So a kid's voice will only last as long as they're a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have a series that goes 20 years, I mean, look at The Simpsons, right?
Right.
If you have a series that goes that long, you want to keep your cast because people become familiar with those voices
Right.
and they
Yeah.
love them. And they don't want to change them up like a 1980s soap opera where all of a sudden you're like, what the?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, this
know?
role is now being played by.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. How
know.
did they think they could
I
do
know.
that?
Like no one's going to notice.
Just kill them off like normal. You know what I mean?
Right.
So bizarro.
Dreamscape. Yes.
So, with kids, it adds a whole other element of
Right.
difficulty in terms of the production process, costs, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times now, if they can afford the teachers and they can afford to kind of transition them out every 3-4 years when that voice changes.
Right.
A lot of people want really authentic now. They want it to sound like
Yeah.
real kids.
Yeah. Hey, especially like on video games or something like that.
I've hired kids.
Is it, well, yeah, you've
Yeah.
hired kids, but is it true or not true or
That we
maybe
eat the
true,
children when we're
or
done
it
with
could be
them?
true or one of these days will be true? No. Is there truth to that because of the budgets now, some of these video games are pretty big, that if they're looking for a Russian guy, they don't want some white guy doing Russian. They want like a Russian guy, like an authentic Russian accent?
Yeah, it depends on the developer. I mean, it depends on the developer, because for some of my video games in the past, half of them have been performance capture casting, where we need the face, the body, the movement, the voice, the intention, the performance. Everything needs to be exactly perfect, as if I'm casting a film. Yet, in addition to that, their physicality has to be amazing, right? So they can't just be a television actor that's used to close-ups, that's used to what I call eye acting, where the intention comes through in their eye language. We don't capture the eyeballs. That's the one thing we don't capture. So we need the frown. We need the eyebrows going up, right? You were like, oh yeah, and your eyebrows went up, right? When not that far.
Okay. I thought I was going to need some injections here or something like that.
No, but speaking of that,
If you have too many, you can't.
You cannot. Oh my God! One time I hired this performer, and it's really hard here in Hollywood to be a performer, and I completely get that a lot of on-camera stuff is, is dependent on half looks and half talent, but that aesthetic sometimes, unfortunately, is 50% of the decision-making process. I completely get that. I have the luxury of working in mediums that it doesn't matter for the most part. Like 80% it doesn't matter. Vocal quality, performance, movement of the face, movement of the body, if it's animation, then just vocality in terms of intention, comedic chops, etc. However, you were talking about earlier surgeries, right?
Yeah, the injections.
Surgeries in Hollywood. So therein lies the dichotomy between like one part of entertainment and video games. So for me, I need an absolutely malleable, emotive face. And one time I hired this performer for one of my games, and she was on a TV show. Gosh, I don't know if I even want to tell this story. She came to set for the game, for performance capture, and we glued on all the little sensors, and she's in the PCAP suit.
Yeah.
And then I'm not there. I'm in my fancy office on Larchmont. And a few hours later, I get a call, like, what? My producers are yelling at me. I'm like, what's wrong? Blah, blah, blah. They're like, we hate her. We got to replace her. This is totally messed. I'm like, what happened? What did she do? What did she do? She can't move her fucking forehead.
Ah!
And I was like, what do you mean?
There's
what are you
no
talking
expression.
about? She's like, her forehead is not moving. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I get on the phone. I'm like, hey, listen, are you feeling okay? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah.
Because your forehead's not moving.
Right. Because we're not getting as much out of your face as we need. And this is the final shoot day. And we need emotions, right? Like you're like surprised and your little eyebrows go up, right? And she goes, oh, shit. I had Botox yesterday. And I was like, dude, why would you do that? And she's like, well, because I'm starting my TV show and I don't want wrinkles to show and I don't want to get the line and da-da-da. And I was like, oh my God, could you not wait till after you did our PCAP? Like, this is really, really bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really bad.
So
So did you have to replace her?
the backup comes in. This is where the backup comes in.
Calling the
Scratch.
backup.
Scratch.
We're calling them Scratch.
We're calling the Scratch,
What's up,
baby.
Scratchy?
Hey, Scratchy.
We're going to need ya.
We're gonna need you.
Yeah.
Get out of the hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Very interesting.
Yeah. So
Only in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, only in Hollywood because New York people don't give it, you know what.
Yeah,
They
it's too
don't
cold there.
care.
You can't move your face
and
anyways.
also, really, the front row is really not that close, right?
Exactly.
So you got a
Exactly.
wrinkle and a crinkle, who
Nah,
cares?
you
It's
can't see
fine,
it.
you know?
I kind of like having.
Nobody cares
stuff
about a
that moves.
tight-faced Lion King.
Hey, here's a silly question for you. If you weren't a casting director,
Yeah.
what else would you be? What else do you think would be
Politician.
fun? A politician for real?
Oh my God, for reels, I will
Yeah.
tell you my two other dreams. Because casting is super fun.
Yeah.
And I'll do it for as long as people will hire me.
Yeah.
For reels, my two biggest dreams in the world, super strange like dichotomy. I want to go into politics, because I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, and LA has gone to hell in a handbasket. I am thinking of running in 2018 for, local representative.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that I moved from Hollywood, but that's part of the problem, right?
Right.
So I do want to run for politics. I want to start kind of reorganizing the infrastructure of Los Angeles, the transportation system, the homeless, the school system, because I'm from here.
Yeah,
and
so
it's like I'm
you've seen-
representing, right?
You are
And
representing.
you've seen the yeah. Oh
No,
my
right,
gosh, she's announcing her candidacy.
Right, I'm just like
right here on VO
West
Buzz Weekly.
Side.
This
I
is
represent
cool.
West Side.
Yeah.
No, but
West
Side. No,
when you
do it
run,
like
you'll
this.
come back and
West Side.
we'll do your candidacy.
Is that right?
No,
Did I
yeah,
do
like
that
a
right?
W, right? West Side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not gangs.
No,
it's
no,
like my
no.
gang is
No.
Neiman Marcus.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like the
There you go.
Neemies or something. But that would be my dream to make LA a better place, because it has so much to offer.
Really does.
It really, really does. But it's broken in so many ways, and people are not getting what they paid for, if you
Yeah.
will, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Rents are like $2,000-3,000 a month.
Yeah.
You know, gas is crazy expensive, groceries
Yeah.
are crazy expensive,
Yeah.
everything. And for what everyone gives up to come here, they should have a certain quality of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my goal is to change it in very significant ways.
Well, you have a heck of a job ahead
love
of you,
it.
and we support you.
And
Thank
what's
you.
your-
My
what's your
second one?
Yes, your second one.
Open up a sticker store.
A sticker store?
Sticker store. Hand to God. Sticker store.
gosh.
Scratch and sniff, puffy,
Oh, I love that.
sparkles. I'm
Can I just
all
tell
about
you,
stickers.
I
I'm
used-
like the only, middle-aged woman, sticker books, sticker collections.
I used to write letters in stickers to people.
Right. And
Like
like
I
the
would
little
put-
hearts and the Lisa
Yes,
Grossmans
and the
the
fuzzy
like
ones.
or the squishy ones you'd get. Like my family and I spent a lot of time in New York, the Natural History Museum, and they had
Yeah.
like dinosaurs with that weird oil in them, and they would like change colors when you squish them.
Do you go to the
Wow,
sticker
I am-
store in the
yeah.
Grove?
Yes, love
Yeah,
it.
I do. I always go in there.
Love.
Yeah, I like the rolls.
Stickers are really
like
expensive now.
They are.
What is the most gratifying part
Of your sticker
job?
collection. No.
Of my sticker collection?
No, of what
my
you
job
do,
is
'cause I'm
doing a good
obviously
job.
just
I'm
doing
a
a
people
good job.
pleaser. I have to do a good job. I have to make people happy.
And that's what makes you happy, is making other people happy?
Yeah.
That's the most gratifying?
Doing-
I mean,
doing
honestly,
a great
because
job.
there's like the cliche of like I'm giving people jobs. I'm letting their dreams come true. I'm, helping them facilitate their goals and all that stuff, which is all great. But I also am like a proud mama. So like when people come in and audition well, I'm already proud.
Yeah.
Whether they book it or don't book it, because I'm not in control of that.
Yeah.
I'm in control of making suggestions. That's my only job. You know who would be really good for this? Bup. Bring them in. Yeah, aren't they amazing? Great. Pick one. Okay? Only one person gets the job.
Yeah.
So I can't be proud of just the one person that gets the
Right.
job.
No, because
I'm
everybody
proud
did
of
a great
all
job.
of them.
Yeah.
I'm proud of all of them, and
Yeah.
especially when they grow up. I mean, I'm not that old, but when they grow up before my very eyes, right? When I knew so and so when we were both 20, and now they're on a series for 10 years and have a home and a wife and a baby, and I'm like, I know them way back when, and I'm so proud of that growth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really do it for the money. I do it for the gratification of doing a job well done and contributing in different ways, and like the posterity.
You're a good
Yeah.
person.
I love that.
You are a
Do you
good
know what?
person. Here, ask her
I
that.
actually, to be honest with you, I totally am. That's the one
no,
thing.
you are. You're like,
I'm
like,
very
believe it or
proud, to be
not.
honest with you. No, I mean, all kidding
Believe it or
aside,
not.
I'm
Yeah.
very proud of the person that I am.
Yeah.
Very, very proud, because my parents did an awesome job. I do a lot of charity work. I believe in the goodness of people, and I try to be as good a person as I can.
Yeah.
Religion aside, my day-to-day life is, if there's someone in need, I will help them. If I'm in a position where I can, I will.
Yeah.
Because that's the bigger picture.
I know, but
That's
you know what's
really
funny
important
is
stuff
that,
in
or
life.
not funny, but that it's you can tell.
Yeah.
From
Really?
talking to you, yeah, because you're funny and you do all this stuff, and you're like, hey, and you know you can get tough and stuff, but your heart shines through
Yeah.
in some of the stuff that you
does.
say,
Thank you.
which is really, really lovely. I have to say.
does.
That's the biggest compliment because, like, look, everybody wants to work in entertainment. Everyone wants showbiz. They want to
Yeah.
be famous. They want to be wealthy. They want to have, the pretty wife, the pretty husband, the house in the hill, the designer clothes. Who fucking cares? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? At the end of the day, we're only here a finite amount of time. We all have to live together. And the only thing that's important in this life is love. Is having
Amen.
is having a place to belong,
Yeah.
feeling happy in your own skin,
Yeah.
love, and being proud of yourself,
Yeah.
no matter what you've accomplished.
it.
Yeah.
Because when you look at it, so I'm friends with other casting directors. I don't look at them as competition. I look at us as a community. I'm also on the board of directors for the Casting Society of America, and I help casting directors get opportunity, get jobs, get perks, get all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So I went to a thing the other day, and I saw Andrea Romano, and I am so in awe of her, and I'm so like she's just so cool.
Yeah, she
and I
is.
saw her on your show.
You did?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. And so that was one of the episodes where I was like, I want to be on their show. I got to meet these guys. Like they have the best of the best on there. And we were talking about entertainment. And we were talking about traveling and life. And, we had this conversation where it's like, in life, really, the only thing that matters is that you're happy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
You
that's
know?
true success right there,
Absolutely.
baby.
Exactly.
And it's how you define happiness, not how everyone else does or what everyone else is doing.
So I could look at her and go, oh, I wish I had that career. I could look
No.
at this person and go, I wish I had that career. Somebody else is looking at me going, I wish I had the career of Ivy Isenberg. Where does it end?
Yeah.
Where does it end?
Yeah.
You can't, even when you're at the top, you're not there for very long. There's an ebb and flow. So really when you wake up, any day above ground is a good day.
Absolutely.
And any day you're a good person, that's the
It's
point.
a great day.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, we have to ask you this. True or false? You cast the movie Curse of Chucky.
Oh my God, I totally did.
Okay, well, we have to show you something.
Yeah.
For Halloween
For Halloween,
last
this
year.
past year.
You were
Chuck
Chucky?
and I, well, because people call Chuck
yeah,
Chucky.
Stacey was Chucky.
So
no.
he was sort of backwoods Chucky's dad. We found this little crazy Chucky-like doll, and then I was the bride of Chucky. So I did like some fun makeup on it. Isn't that hysterical?
Oh my God.
See everyone?
Am I allowed to show it?
Yeah,
We're going to show it right here. It is. Let's
Is
just
that
show it.
hysterical? Yeah. We were the hit of our neighborhood.
I was expecting you to be a giant Chucky doll, though. You know what I
Well,
mean?
That would have
I'll show
been
you
really
the whole
funny.
Chuck thing.
We had him strapped on the Chucky doll as like a Bjorn.
This is terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know what? If I saw you in an alley, I would call 911.
Totally. A lot of people did. It was
This
so
is
much fun.
awful.
I was scaring little kids big time.
I'm a grown
They're
up
like,
and I would be
"Chucky,
terrified.
yay!"
It was
Especially if I didn't know those teeth were fake. I mean, those are some choppers.
And the doll,
They're
I can
unfortunate.
control the doll's Chucky's
It's
head.
amazing when you pop
so
those
I can
teeth
make him
in,
go like
how
this
it-
and like look at people. And so, yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty neat.
This Chucky doll's hideous.
Oh
He
my
is.
gosh, he's
Yeah,
crazy.
I loved working with Don Mancini. I think he's, I
Yeah.
think he's fantastic, and he's
So good.
definitely, he's so proud of this franchise. Like, this is his baby, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was so great to work with him, and we had an awesome cast, and it was so cool to work with Brad Dourif and then Fiona Dourif as the lead. That was kind of a neat get for us. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was fun. I like working in counterculture programming. I like, I like food, sex, and sleep.
Food, sex, and sleep.
In no particular order.
In no particular order.
So if it's a TV show or a video game with like swearing or dick jokes or whatever, I'm all about it. Horror, anything I call it my career Comic-Con cool.
Comic-Con cool.
Yeah, because everything I've ever worked
Yep.
on has had a booth at Comic-Con.
Wow.
Literally from like the Stargate days of
Yep.
my first job in casting to Annoying Orange, Call of Duty, Robot Chicken, everything. Everything has had a panel or a booth at Comic-Con.
Right.
So
Wow.
I'm not going to ever be like the casting director for NCIS.
No.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Or
Although
or
I'd
Disney
love to
Junior?
work on. I'm obsessed with Law and Order SVU.
Oh, I had a feeling you were going to say
I'm
something like that.
obsessed with
Well,
that.
because
Oh, no.
it's SVU.
Yeah,
right?
SVU.
So the other day I was doing casting for a video game, and I actually called Jonathan Strauss, and he's so funny because I was like, you know, people would do this to me with Stargate all the time, which I watched, but I wasn't like obsessed with it the way I'm obsessed with two things: Law and Order SVU and old Twilight Zones, like the old ones, not
Yeah.
the ones from the 80s. The 1960s and 50s ones. So the other day I was thinking of doing a list for a project, and I was like, oh my God, there was this one guy in an episode of Law, and I called Jonathan Strauss, the casting director. I'm like, hey, it's Ivy. Hey, in season 7, there was this one episode where this cab driver was da 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 da, and he was like, oh shit, let me call you back. And I was like, oh man, like, you know, working 20 years on the show,
Yeah.
he's like, you know, there's like 8,000,
Yeah.
you know, people in his head.
Totally, man.
But I was like, okay, I'm going to find this guy. I was like looking up the 6 degrees of who else was in the episode, and I'm trying to think of what happened, and I found him. But
I love it.
yeah,
What a trip.
sometimes
That's
casting
cool.
is just like, I saw a face and I remember it, and what was
Right.
the context,
Right.
you know,
You're
or
good.
a play or something. And even with theater, right? So I've seen, you know, Take Me Out a whole bunch of times about the first gay baseball player.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, and there's one scene where they're all naked on stage or whatever, and I'm like, the guy with the penis on the left, he would be so good for this, right? I'm just like, he was so great because he was like this cool Puerto Rican guy with a great vocal quality and a booming voice, and I remember seeing him at this playhouse. Who was that? Blah, blah, blah. Yes, I'm gonna
You're
call
a
him
good
in.
detective.
Oh my God, that's
It's so-
crazy.
I love it.
That's really what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
It's being a detective and having a memory that works that way.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of things that I'm not good at. You know,
Right.
there are a lot of things that I'm not good at. But this is just one of those things I happen to excel.
Clicks. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I remember how I feel being moved by a performance.
Yeah.
And so then all of a sudden I remember, you know, seeing those people on stage.
right.
And it shows that you love what you do,
Yeah.
which
No,
is really,
it's so
really cool.
clear. It just
Absolutely.
oozes out of your pores. Okay, this is the question no one knows.
Are you going to ask me, or do I get to ask myself?
You decide. Please read it out loud so we can all enjoy
Yes,
it.
please.
Oh, this is so interesting. Which of your personality traits would you like to change?
We're going deep.
This is so deep. You know what? I'm going to be super duper honest with you guys.
Thank you.
Like super heart to heart honest. I'm very sensitive,
Really?
and I get upset very easily. I'm very into respect. So in the past, I've taught classes. A couple times I did workshops back in the day. I don't really do that much anymore. In my casting scenario, in my own personal life, I'm very sensitive, and I'm very much about respect. Respect, because if you don't have that, you don't have anything.
True.
And I don't want to work with people that don't respect me, and I don't want to hire people that are disrespectful. So, like in the classes, for example, I would say, you know, I'm here for a night. I'm going to teach you everything I know. Try to fit it into 2 hours. If you talk this, like say a workshop scenario or a class scenario with like
Right.
actors, right? I would say, you know, you all have your scenes. We're going to talk about how to do them better. We're going to give feedback. We're going to do all this stuff. I'm going to teach you blah, 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 blah. Anyway, if other people are up there and you're talking during their scene, you don't get to do it. You can leave. I'm not seeing you. I won't talk to you. I won't see you. It's done.
Wow. You're right, but that is
Yeah.
disrespectful, man.
Yeah.
Because how much do you have to open yourself up and be
Right.
vulnerable and really
Completely.
put your ego and your self-esteem on
Yeah.
the line and
You need the
immerse
support
yourself
of the room.
Yes,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
in this character, and someone's rustling a fucking chip bag.
Or they're preparing for their
or they're
scene.
preparing
Yeah.
like a narcissist for their thing, right? No, the learning happens when you watch other people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's like, if you don't care about your community, go yourself.
Because she's not hiring you.
Ivy is serious about that.
Right.
Well, you know,
but
you
so I
had
wish
me-
I wasn't, I wish I didn't take everything so personally.
Yeah.
I wish I'd be like, whatever. You know, but I don't know how to be that person yet.
But you
and
had great parents, and they taught you good respect, and that's
Yes.
It's hard to deprogram that.
right, but it's hard to also not take everything as such a big deal, you know.
Right.
in the past when I've had a producer session and, you know, the executives are in there and one of them whips out a sandwich and is like eating a sandwich while I'm like, no, we don't do that. We don't put that away, you know, right? Or texting, that's going to have to wait until after they finish the monologue. I'm sorry. And people don't always like being put in their place.
Yeah.
But what are you asking them to do? You're asking them to morph, right? You're asking them for a metamorphosis. You don't, I try not to go Christian Bale on people.
Right.
But I understand it.
Yeah.
But I understand it. And so I'm working on my execution of the emotion, but I definitely understand where it comes from. I don't think he had to go on for 20 minutes,
Right.
but I understand the explosion.
Well, it's finding to calibrate your filter,
Right.
and you know, and knowing
And
that not
obviously
everybody
I don't
is
have
gonna
a filter.
Yeah.
There are times in life where you do need to be more thoughtful, and you cannot let your emotions overrun.
Right.
Because people need to also receive the message in a way that they're able to fix it and change it. And so if you come at people like, right?
Shuts it down.
And not
Shuts
only
it
that,
down.
I think that
Yeah.
in today's world, we just need to bring, like you said earlier,
Yeah.
and
Love,
bring
love,
it back. Love,
Yeah.
you know? We need to share the love and
Yes.
be respectful of each other and
Well,
bring each other up.
You bring that in a big way.
Absolutely.
Thank you for
My
everything
goodness
for being
gracious,
here.
what a treat.
Ben,
We
you're
are
just
so
saying that.
happy to have you on the show and for all that you do for the industry, and you're just a doll, and you're always welcome here.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for.
Would it be interesting a second time around?
Put it there, baby. Boom.
I don't.
Bam.
Except that I'm like showing
Heather.
skin
Oh, you're
now.
fine.
Like my butt cheeks are
Ivy
hanging out.
Isenberg.
Ivy Isenberg, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, we're going to be back
So
next week
funny.
with another show.
Hi everybody, I'm Ivy Isenberg and I just got buzzed with Chuck and Stacey. Be good to each other and try hard.
Okay, guys, well, there you have it. You asked for it, and you got it. Ivy Isenberg. And now, everything you need to know about casting directors, you probably already
Well,
know.
you've got a lot of information.
Hold on to
file away.
those notes, because you're going to need them later on.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Make sure to keep up with us also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We love you guys. Thanks for watching, and just remember,
You always have time for a little buzz.
Come on, come on, come on and get buzzed with us.
The Buzz Weekly is sponsored by Chuck Duran's Demos That Rock. The voiceover demo producer to the stars is now available to you. Visit demosthatrock.com and take your voiceover career to the next level.
See you next time. And remember, you always have time for a little buzz.